Happy Sunday and day 3 of Vlogmas. So I am headed out to run some errands and go to my house to put up a few Christmas decorations. So let's go. Y'all, I just got all the way to my house and realized I did not have my house key. Like, what the crap? And then I needed to go to Home Depot and get I want to get a keyless entry pad thing for the door, and then also make some spare keys, but I can't do that without my house key. Wow, and I'm hungry. Okay, so I'm gonna go get food now because I'm hungry. Alright guys, so I finally made it to the breakfast spot. I kind of got lost, but I've decided that I'm going to talk all about commuting. I get a ton of questions about being a commuter and especially not having a crash pad. So I'm gonna grab breakfast, go back to the house, and then we're gonna enjoy this biscuit. Well, I'm gonna enjoy this biscuit and give y'all all the tea about the commuting life. This is what it looks like. Holla and got the goodies. Am I the only person that's super fat and cannot wait to get home and eat the food? I'm gonna eat this in the car because I don't know, I just cannot. First off, I don't want it to be cold. Second off, why wait? Life is short. Look at this, y'all. Oh my gosh. So I got mine with fruit. I just wanted to make some sort of healthy decision, but it usually comes with tater tots, which are really good too. And this is the fried chicken. It's called the kickback chicken. It has goat cheese, scallions, red pepper jelly there, and then I added an egg too, just like a fried egg. The egg is only $1, so I like to do that just for some extra protein. But I'm gonna eat this biscuit right here in the car, and then I guess I have to eat the rest at home because yeah, you see how big it is. I'm devouring this biscuit. So good. You gotta try it if you're here. Definitely go here. This is one of those top spots. Chick-fil-A, who? Chick-fil-A is going out of business. No, just kidding. I love Chick-fil-A. All right, so we're gonna talk about, hopefully I'm not echoing. We're gonna talk about commuting in this cute little art room. So basically you can come in here and they have acrylic paints and you can just paint your whole life away. They have classes too every so often, but I figured this would be a cute place to film. And then the pool is right outside here. It's really nice. But yeah, it's too cold for that. So let's get into the commuting because it's a hot topic. All right, so first things first, what is commuting? Commuting is just like any other job where you're traveling to work. Some people work from home, but most people do not. So, you may have a 30-minute ride to work, an hour in traffic. It just depends. As a flight attendant though, when you are a commuter, you have to actually go to a completely different city. So some people live in really small cities, for instance here in Georgia, some people live in Savannah, Georgia, but you could be based in Atlanta, Georgia. So you could choose to either move to Atlanta, you could drive every time you have to go to work, which probably not the best idea because it's 3 hours, or you could fly. But in my case, I am based in Minneapolis, so that is about 900 miles away from Atlanta. There is no way I'm driving that because that's crazy, especially with flight benefits. So as a flight attendant, a lot of people are based where they do not live, and if you choose to remain, reside where you live now and not move to where you're based, you're considered a commuter. So when you get the flight attendant job, a lot of people will kind of look for apartments or try to find roommates and decide if they're going to live where they're based. But I knew right off the bat that I was not going to move to Minneapolis because in the end, that's not where I want to live. And also, I have a whole life here in Atlanta. And eventually I can get based here in Atlanta, so it kind of works out. But yeah, they ask you like on the application, are you willing to relocate? And this is this is a hard one because it's like you really have to like it when once you get to training, it gets real. It's kind of like people think, oh, okay, well, I won't have a problem like getting based in LA. Like LA is, you know, it's a big, like LAX is a huge airport. Why won't I be able to get based in LA? But then they end up getting based in New York across the country. So it's like, oh my gosh, am I going to be a commuter? Am I going to move to New York? It's just, whew, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Personally, I decided to become a commuter because it's easier for me. I didn't want to have to pick up my whole life and like move to Minneapolis. That just wasn't an option. And I also did not want to get a crash pad, which some commuters do have crash pads. I personally do not. I didn't want to get a crash pad though because I rather not spend more money like somewhere I'm not living, if that makes sense. I already pay rent here in Atlanta and I'm never here. So I didn't want to have to like pay rent in Minneapolis as well and only be there sometimes too. So sometimes what I'll do is get a hotel, which gives me peace of mind. It is still spending money, but if I have to commute the day before my trip, and what I mean by that is, say for instance, my working flight leaves at 7 a.m. There is no flight out of Atlanta to Minneapolis that would get me to Minneapolis in time for my flight. So I'd have to come in the night before, like I could leave on the 10 o'clock p.m. flight, get there at like 12 a.m. There's, I think, a 9 o'clock flight as well. So sometimes you have to travel to work the day before, and that's where commuting sucks. There will also be times where you're able to commute in the same day, meaning your flight that you're working may not leave until 2 p.m. or 5 p.m. And so you can catch like a 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. flight and get to your base in time, even with enough time to like have lunch and take a nap before you actually go to work. On the flip side of that though, you could also be working a trip where you're able to commute in the same day, but then the back end of the trip is not commutable. So you may be coming back from Miami. Let's say I have my last day of my 3-day trip, my last leg of the trip is Miami to Minneapolis. So all of my trips originate in Minneapolis and end in Minneapolis. There's no way I can be like, oh, I don't want to work the last leg of the flight because I want to be in Atlanta. Doesn't work like that. So I basically, if I'm leaving Miami at 5 p.m. and then I get to Minneapolis, that's like probably a 3-hour flight, I would say. So I'm also going to gain an hour though because of the time difference. So I will be getting there, what time did I say I was leaving? I don't know. Either way, let's say just I get to Minneapolis at 8 p.m. What if there's no flights at 8 p.m. to Atlanta? So now I'm stuck in Minneapolis for the night. What I would recommend for sure if you're going to be a commuter, well, number one, going into the flight attendant position, like into the job, don't think that you're gonna get based where you live. I was like so positive, like, oh yeah, they're gonna have openings in Atlanta. Like, Atlanta's a super main base. Like, I'll totally be there. I played myself, okay? Here I am in Minneapolis, putting in my transfer every single month, and it still hasn't been awarded. So don't rely on being based where you live or even getting your transfer by a certain time because it just may not happen. But figure out what works best for you. If that's getting a crash pad, definitely do that. I think that I save a lot of money just bidding for trips that are commutable, especially things like what I'm working today, which is a red eye. I also love illegals. These are both like one-day trips, but the great thing about them is I'm able to go to work really late at night. So like for instance, this evening, my trip doesn't sign in until I wanna say like 8 o'clock. And so I can take like a 3 o'clock flight out of Atlanta and get there in time. In addition to like, if I wasn't able to make that flight, I'd still have flights in between just as backup. So I work my flight this evening and then I will be back at base at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm working overnight and there is a flight at 6:30. So I'm able to come right back to Atlanta and I'll be here before noon. Red eyes also hours, which is great for pay purposes. It is a little hard having trips like that when you're a commuter, because if you do trips like that every day, you're having to commute every day. But if you choose 3-day trips that have a later sign-in time and an early release time where they're commutable on both ends, that's like the perfect trip for a commuter. Hopefully I answered you guys' questions about commuting. If you have any other questions, be sure to leave them in the comments. And I'm gonna go take a nap. And then I will bring you guys along with me as I commute today, because why not, right? I'm going to pack a little snack to eat, or it's kind of like a whole meal, because I think I have some pizza left over from yesterday. But I'm gonna pack like a little, I guess that's like a midnight dinner, because I leave at like 8 or something like that and don't get back till 6. But yeah, we're gonna hope that I don't fall asleep, because man, on these red eyes, you get so sleepy, like, whoa. Okay, so it is 11:39. Dang, I only have like an hour to sleep, like an hour and a half. Okay, so I'm gonna go to sleep, and then I'll be getting ready for work. And oh, another thing about commuting, I forgot about this part. So when you're actually commuting, you don't get like a guaranteed seat on the flight. You don't have like a confirmed seat, and a lot of people are like, oh, you're based in Minneapolis. That works though, because you can get to work, you just fly for free. No, it's not that easy. Yes, when I fly there, I don't pay to fly there, but it's like my responsibility to check the loads for the flights. It's still considered like a standby non-revenue. So if this flight is sold out, there's no seats, then I can't get on. You also have to make sure that like you're preparing in advance. So when I get my schedule every month, I like to go on my phone and set alarms to like book my jump seat. And the jump seat is the seat that the flight attendants sit on, because when you're a commuter, you can ride on the jump seats as long as there's one available. So there's like different policies and procedures in place to book jump seats and things like that, which if you're becoming a flight attendant, you'll learn about. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to actually get to work, but you just have to make sure you're proactive. You can always ride on other airlines for free, things like that. But if y'all have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna go take this nap, and I will see you when I wake up and I'm commuting. I got my nap in. It was only about an hour, and I am walking to my Uber now. So I'll show you guys what I packed, but I brought some food too, and then just my small bag. Just got to the airport. Quick 20-minute ride. That's one thing I do appreciate, even though I have to commute. And then let's see how long it takes me to get through security. I'm gonna set my watch here, my stopwatch. Okay, so I set it. I'm walking up on security right now. It looks long. Well, I don't go through that line, but let's see how long. Sometimes people just take a minute. Oh, it's empty. That was quick. I'm in the terminal. Let's see. Took 1 minute and 15 seconds. Oh, just blanked out. But okay, I'm gonna hurry up and get to my gate because I want to get on the plane before they start boarding. All right, y'all. So I just got on the plane. This is like the worst plane ever to jump seat on. It's like all the way in the back. This is the jump seat. But I brought some pineapples. I'm just showing you guys what I brought from the red eye. Salad. This is an apple, cheese, and walnut salad, and then a slice of pizza that I'll warm up later. I'll show you guys when I warm it up. I ended up getting a seat, which is amazing, because after I eat this, we can go down. I'm gonna make the salad. So I'm going to show you guys what I packed, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap the video up. I just picked up some gummy worms, but this is the only bag I brought for my red eye, and I really need to get like a small rolling bag for trips like this, because you never know if you'll get rerouted. But I have my wallet in here, my passport. I always like to keep some tea packets in here. I also have chapstick, some lip gloss, hand sanitizer in the corner there, and then nail polish because I've been having some real nail struggles lately. My nail lady's out of town and I refuse to go to anyone else. Gloves, my umbrella, edge control, and a brush because I have to redo my hair. This is actually a jacket that keeps you warm in 0-degree weather, and it really does work. It was in my Uniqlo haul that I did, so check that out. And then this is like a pouch that I pretty much bring on all of my trips, and it just has, I'm not gonna open it, but it just has like lipstick and perfume, hand cream in it. What else? Like an extra pair of earrings, little like knickknacks I use on the plane, like to open cans and bottles and all that stuff. I also, this is like a major key when you're working a red eye, okay? These will keep you awake. So when you start getting sleepy and coffee's not working anymore, you can eat something hot. I also brought my book with me. I always bring a book on all of my flights. I actually finished this book last night, but I'm gonna reread it and just underline some like things I really like in it. And then I have my travel journal. Also this amazing book light that I bought the other day. I really like this one. I had another one before, but the battery was like ran out really quick. My work device, toothbrush, toothpaste, and deodorant. So that is what is in my bag. Hopefully I don't get rerouted, because if I do, I don't have any clothes. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Alright, it's done. The video's over. Guys, literally in the past minute, 2 people have fell down the escalator right here. Like, I cannot get out what I'm trying to say. But that's the end of the video. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.